Hello, I'm Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and I'm coming to you from Seattle. It's a little gray, that's okay, but I wanted to give you some lessons while I'm on the road, so to speak. And in this episode, I want to talk about setting expectations and when free isn't free, because we all might have a friend that wants to help us with something, on a creative project, and they're like, yeah, no, I'll totally do it for free, because their intentions are there and it's good. But the problem is, even when something's free, there's still a cost. And it goes both ways, because then they expect you to do something for them in return, right? However, it's undefined. Furthermore, because they're doing it for free, you can't really get on their ass to meet certain deadlines. That makes it very difficult, right? And so it's just unless you have a truly good working relationship and you guys are really close and know the other person is reliable, it's very hard to depend on that sort of relationship. Which is why I always like to listen. I'm not saying don't ever work with your friends for free. What I'm saying is make sure the expectations are very clear up front. When I did my movie Idol, I was very upfront about my, I guess I'll use the word demands, although demands make it seem like I'm this authoritarian, which I wasn't. They were standards. Let's call them standards, right? And expectations. And so I said, these are my expectations of you. And if you can't meet those, then that's fine. Don't do the piece. But if you can, let's do it. And by the way, it worked both ways. It's not like, here's what I expect, but you have no expectation of me. I said, I will be, available to answer questions. I will be, I will do my best to do this. I will, I laid out very clearly, like, hey, I'm going to work my ass off for you. Like one of the big things was like the actors and no one else basically had to pay out of pocket. It was always going to be me that paid out of pocket. So I said, like, you're essentially, there was other kind of bullet points, but overall it was like, you just have to show up and bring your best, and I will do the rest and pay for it out of my pocket. So for you, for them, it cost them their time. For me, it cost me literally money, as well as time. So, in that sense, that was a worthwhile exchange to those who did work on it. There were some who was like, not for me. And it's interesting to me when people do volunteer for stuff. Like recently I had, I knew someone that wanted to kind of start doing home decor, right? And the person, so I said, you know what? I've been in my apartment for a long time at this point, and I would like to change it up, especially because of quarantine. It's like, if I can't really go out and mingle in the world, might as well change up my world, meaning my apartment. And so I said to this person, like, hey, why don't you sort of do this, and like I do this, and it'll be great practice for you. It'll give you something for your portfolio, things like that, And I wasn't even willing to offer money, not necessarily a lot, but whatever. And what's interesting to me, this is kind of like a tangent lesson, is how many people say they want to do something, but then when an opportunity comes, they don't actually take it. That's what's interesting to me, oftentimes. But I don't know. So again, that's why, like, it kind of goes back to the, when you have people work for free, you have to set those expectations, because in the end, you know, the friend that like was really gung-ho about home decor didn't end up doing it. You know, I mean, maybe he will. It's been 3 weeks at this point, but it's like in my life, I don't want to wait 3 weeks. You know, and it's not like he hasn't done any, you know, nothing. So again, that's why when there's that exchange, you just have to set the expectations. Otherwise, when it's undefined, someone ultimately feels fucked by the whole situation. At least it has been in my case. Maybe in your case it's been different. In which case, let me know. You know, I would love to know your secret, your practices. But anyway, that's what I have for you. Something to think about, something to reflect on, something to help you moving forward. So let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, if you have a different experience, if you have different thoughts, add those as well. You can comment down below or hit me up on social media. If you think this episode would help somebody in your life, then by all means share it with them. I would appreciate it. And I appreciate you. Thank you, and take care.